We're back again for another episode of the Santa Boot First podcast. Are we back? Big win from the Eagles. And we're going to talk a little bit of the other sports tonight. Special guest in the studio tonight with us, Mr. Bob Hartnett. Hang around. We'll be right back.
Let's chop it up.
Traitor. The intro. Oh.
From P-H-I-L-A period.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Santa Boot First podcast, coming to you live from beautiful downtown Willow Grove. My volume's up, thank you, sir. In the lovely Crack Bell Production Studios.
I missed that opening. I'm gonna say I missed that opening.
And I just blanked, Bob. I just blanked at the end of it there.
I'll pick you up right here. That opening is like I kind of steal it sometimes at the VFW's live podcast.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, well, let's go. Let's
it's all right.
take Jim Marcus's opening.
All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight. That voice you just heard, like I said, we got a guest in the studio here with us tonight, Bob Hartnett, hanging out with us, Bobby, our old engineer, still friend.
Traitor.
Get some shots being fired.
Salt in the air.
To my left, we got Deke laughing to himself like always. What's going on, Deke?
I'm laughing at you clowns saying garbage back and forth to each other.
To his left, we got Bob. What's going on, Bob? Thanks
What's
for
up?
coming
What's
in.
up? Yep.
To his left, the infamous Smitty.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, use it loosely.
Yeah.
And to his left, Andrew.
So
There we go. No DJ tonight. I think his vagina was irritated. Behind the glass,
Santa Boot First brought to you by Vanderbilt. DJ brought to you by Trojans.
and behind the glass, we got Nate Moss. Nate keeping us live in the air. What's going on, Nate?
Yes, sir.
What are you pulling for? You're being paged.
What?
All right.
I'm sorry.
I need a water.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors, InsurePhilly.com. For all your insurance needs, give Matt Maloney a call, the NPM agency, up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes. And also keeping us powered and hydrated. Pops McCann's Whiskeys, Jason Fogg proprietor. We got a couple bottles in here tonight. We got the original, the OG, and we got the Feather and the Cap bourbon. And before we continue even more, I want to say thank you again for last Sunday for Halloween. It was a great time. Thank you to Patty Wax for having us. They always show us a good time. They always treat us like family. Thank you to our girls from Lady Juice for running the Camp Out for Hunger. We got some good donations for the folks that
Over
came in.
$500.
Is that what the final tally is?
So
Nice.
far, over $500.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, we had some good food. We had some raffles going on. Thanks to TCH Sports, Schmitty's guy, for giving us some signed memorabilia to auction off. All around, it was just a great time. It was a good time. So thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting the Camp Out for Hunger, the local businesses, and just for being part of the Santa family. All right. And the main reason we brought Bob in here, we're going to ask for some more support of Friends of Santa and the local communities. So you guys know Bob. You've heard Bob on our podcast in the past. He could chop it up with us on sports. We might get into a little flyers for you, Bobby, later. We know that's your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But Bob also has his own podcast that Deke and I were lucky enough to be invited on and chop it up with him about a month ago, right?
We were at the Ryan game.
Yes, for the
We got to do that again.
For the
We're
Cowboys
going to
game.
do that again.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
But we know Bob is also a proud Marine, and we thank you for your service.
Yep.
And we know your podcast supports the Marines, but just the veteran services generally. And next week's a big week. You got a big
Huge.
birthday, and you got Veterans Day next week, right?
The big birthday, yes. First off, it's good to be back here. It's good to be back in
good to
Crack
see
Bell
you.
Studios, And you know, it's more like a post update. It's small. I want to grow it a little bit. I want to get a podcast going in there, and they're working on some funds to hopefully get some more equipment. But I'm going to be buying some more equipment, so maybe I can get something going in there. Just something small, nothing too big for the moment. But yeah, next week. So Sunday, November 7th at 4 p.m. It's the NFL Veterans Day, as they're calling it. Eagles versus Chargers. Wear your military branch or Eagles gear or Eagles green, and you come in and cheer on the Eagles. You do not have to be a veteran to be to walk in there. You can be a
dispel
social member.
That myth.
Yes. So you could be a social member. It's $20 for the year. It's the Horsham VFW in Horsham, PA, 324 Sawmill Lane in Horsham. And we would love for, all are welcome. Come by. Like I said, social members, $20. If you're an active member, you get your first year for free. And if you're part of the auxiliary, if you want to be part of the auxiliary, stop on by. We'll get you more information for that. And then Wednesday, November 10th at 6 p.m. is the USMC's birthday. My beloved Core. It's going to be on the pavilion. There's going to be birthday cake. We will cut it'll be cut by the oldest and the youngest Marine in attendance. All are welcome to attend, it seems like, but Marines are probably going to override that like they do all the time. And then Thursday, November 11th at 6 p.m., we have a ceremony. It's at 6 p.m., November 11th. We have a ceremony. Will take place in the parking lot, weather permitting. If it rains, it'll be under our pavilion. We have a great ceremony planned for you. Friday, November 12th, auxiliary craft night. So if you're in the crafts, come on out. The proceeds benefit 4 veteran hospitals and the VFW auxiliary post. And then Saturday, November 13th, we have a Toys for Tots, our start for the Toys for Tots. It's a comedy night in our indoor hall. Seating is at 7 p.m. The show starts at 7:30, and you can visit the Horsham VFW's Facebook page for the link, and you can purchase your tickets. Very excited about next week. Thank you for allowing me to come on here and highlight that. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my post. And if you need any information, reach out to the Facebook page at Santa Boot First, and I can get you hooked up.
Yeah, we'll share the events for you for the week. I think we all got some veterans in our family. Father-in-law was a Marine.
Yep.
Grandfather was in Navy. My other grandfather was in the Army. So we appreciate that. I know our guy Jason always looking to do stuff for the Marines, so we can hook you for the services. We can also hook you up with him.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I always wonder, just not to take up too much time here, but Veterans Day and what it has always meant to me, it's always about the past, present, and future who are the past who were drafted in to fight in these wars, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War. And then, they, of course, paved the way for guys like me and later generations to volunteer to go in. So it means a lot to me. It's a special day for me, just like a lot of people. And it's just, even when I went into the Marine, and I am a Marine through and through, I always try to keep things in perspective about anyone who has served, is going to serve, or is serving in any branch. Very important.
And you got yourself a new job, right? Supporting that with Nova?
So it's not a job at Nova. It was just something that I went to the school because I was looking at options for I might be getting a job there. I don't know if it's going to be anything in the veterans office, but
okay, I thought you were in there. Okay,
I'm looking. Certainly, if there was anything available in the veterans office, I would definitely be all over that. But I hope that's my next school for my master's program. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck. Good school. It's not the prep, right?
Nah.
It's not a city school.
Not everybody can go to the
Right. One more thing, though. I am the post-service officer at the Horsham VFW. If you are a veteran and you need anything, claims, you want to submit a claim. If you need, family members, friends, if you have any veterans that are in need, if you're a family member and there are unfortunate circumstances and you need access to burial benefits and stuff like that, come and talk to me. We'll get you hooked up. We'll get you steered in the right direction.
Nice. All right. So there we have it.
Big
week next week. Keep an eye on Bob's Facebook. Keep an eye on our Facebook. We'll share the stuff.
Thank you.
For all you veterans and non-veterans. It's just supporters. Keep an eye out.
Sure.
Big week for them.
Awesome.
All right. Now into the sports. It was a good game last Sunday. I only watched some of it because we were running around the bar doing things. Are we back, boys? Are we back? I'm taking DJ's. DJ's spot.
Hold on.
No.
Before we begin, I just want you guys to know that I called the fact that Jordan Howard would have 2 rushing touchdowns on our past show.
You did
and
make
it
that
happened.
Okay.
Are we back?
Okay, Jimmy the Greek.
We're not back yet. No. I mean, Detroit's a shitty team. We all know that. You beat the Chargers this weekend. All right, let's talk. But One thing I liked is the fact that we've been clamoring for him to run the ball, and you see what happens when you run the ball.
Yeah.
You make it a little bit easier for Jalen Hurts, right? Like Jalen Hurts didn't look that great on Sunday, but they didn't really ask him to do much. And I think that's what you need to do. Like, you need to run the ball.
Did he run the ball because he didn't need to throw, or he didn't have the perception that he needed to throw the ball? They were winning the whole time.
Possibly, but I'm
What-
just saying.
This is what I heard on the radio today. They had 5 of their first 7 plays were going to be run plays. And if those were successful, they would continue to run the ball. If not, it sounds like they were going to try and start passing the ball.
So they're scripting like how Andy used to, except they're only going to 7 plays instead of 15.
Well,
Andy used to script like the first 15 or 20.
Yeah, 15. But it sounds like the first 7, maybe of the 15, were going to be run. 5 out of the first 7 were going to be run plays. I don't think they're back per se. They took a giant step forward this past week, beating up on a team that they should have beaten up on. We were a couple of us picked a loss, a couple of us, myself, I picked a very close nail-biting win for the Eagles. And I think the city was probably split down the middle whether it was going to be a win or loss for the Eagles, and rightfully so. People thought it was going to be a win. It was because it was Detroit. People thought it was going to be a loss was because look at what we've done up until now during the season. I think we're taking strides in the right direction. This is a huge game for the Eagles. Earlier in the season, I didn't feel confident. I feel more confident that they're going to win this week. And the thing you always hear coaches say when things don't go well is we got to put guys in better positions to be successful. What's the position that offensive linemen love to be in? They love to be
Pushing
run
people
blockers,
around.
right?
Yep.
They love to fire off the ball. They love to smack the guy in front of them. They don't want to be backpedaling and playing footsie and handsy with the guy in front of them. They want to come out, smash the guy in front of them, and run block. Be the term is road graders. That's what they want to do. If you want to put your offensive lineman in a position to win, have them run block primarily, or at least a good bit at a time. Running the ball, it protects your quarterback in 2 ways. Number one, performance-wise, you don't, with a guy like Jalen Hurts, he's young. He's still not a complete rookie. Technically his rookie season isn't completed yet. I don't think he's played 16 games yet. So, and he's had trouble in a lot of different situations. He's made bad reads. He's overthrown. He's underthrown, whatever. But you can protect your quarterback by having him just turn around and hand the ball off, and you also protect him. You keep him healthy. So there are 2 solid reasons right there to continue doing what you started last week. And the defensive side of the ball came out. They were doing things that they haven't done all season too. They got big turnovers. They ran back a fumble for a touchdown. The game was out of hand by them, but still they did something that they haven't done yet. It was a real eye opener of a game last week to see what they did on both sides of the ball, and I was pleasantly surprised. Hopefully, the 2 coaches, defensive coordinator and the head coach, got their heads out of their asses. They woke up. They saw what we can do if we run the ball, and that's what they're going to do.
The question we had on the podcast last week was, is somebody going to get fired if they lose? So luckily they didn't lose, because I was on the losing side of the ball. I thought that they were going to lose.
Do you think they're going to continue to dress Jordan Howard now?
Yes.
Yeah,
They
I
have to
think
at
so.
this point, right?
Yeah, I think until you figure. What have they said? Have they said anything else about Miles? They
No,
keep saying
He's on
week to week.
IR.
He's on the
He's on
short.
IR.
So that's 3 weeks at least.
He's on the short-term IR, but like we looked, they tried to run Kenneth Gainwell between the tackles. It
He
wasn't
can't do
working.
it.
Yeah.
He's not a between the tackle runner. Everybody thought that Kenneth Gainwell would just come in and be like the bell cow.
No, he's
bell
not.
cow. He's a change of pace. So you have to go with Jordan Howard. The other big thing that we talked about defensively, adjustments, they freaking blitzed.
Yeah,
They blitzed. And
5 sacks.
Josh Sweat had what, 2.5?
Mhm.
2.
Like blitz, and that's what we're going to need to do to Herbert. Like, because if you give Herbert a time, he's going to rip you apart.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to dial up pressure. And I wonder if the games are a little different in the San Fran game if they dial up pressure too. Like, you know what I mean? Like they dialed up pressure and turnovers were created.
I mean, like we were talking about out there before the show, I think if they ran the ball more and you have a Jordan Howard in there, I think there's a chance that they might have won that, the 49ers game.
Sure.
They just got to run the ball.
And keeping a high-powered offense like KC off the field should be your priority. And the way to do that is to run the ball. If they run the ball more against KC, KC doesn't have as many possessions, doesn't score.
San Diego or LA.
Oh, Los
I
Angeles.
was about to say, who the hell is KC? What is he
No,
talking
we're
Talking
about?
about the Chiefs game.
I thought you're
No, we're
talking like
about-
future tense.
We're talking about past games. Of
Past games,
everything.
all right. I'm thinking he's in future tense.
Yeah,
I'm with
yeah.
you.
I was
Dave.
right with you, Jim.
You
You lost me in that
you know what-
conversation.
You know what the other thing?
That's understandable considering
Oh,
something.
because
You
it's-
shut up.
Yeah, do
God damn.
you know what the other thing defensively they did? You didn't see as much Singleton, and they benched Eric Wilson. They
Yeah,
ran
and they
Davion Taylor
waived him.
and TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards looked pretty damn good. He was going sideline to sideline, which is what a linebacker should do. Everybody clamors about Singleton. He played, I think, 20% of the snaps. You can't tell me Davion Taylor and TJ Edwards are not better coverage linebackers than Wilson and Singleton. So that was adjustments. That's what I wanted to say.
Maybe that's a
Adjustments were
reflection of the
made.
coaches too. Now,
Right.
maybe the coaches are actually looking at the players they have and saying, "He's not my starting linebacker because I was told he's my starting linebacker."
Can I?
Now I see guys are progressing, and maybe I can put these guys in a better position. Get Singleton out of here.
The only thing that saves it is like it was the Lions.
Yeah,
I need
I'm-
to see it again, and I need to see it again before I'm like, well, it's convincing because the Lions, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're terrible. I didn't think that there could be a worse. I don't think I've seen a worse coach game than Dan Campbell coached on Sunday or whatever. He was terrible.
They had been playing hard up until
That's what I'm
this past week, and they had a couple decent competitive games.
Against the Rams.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So are you ready? Are you ready for wild card weekend? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh man.
No, let's not jump.
Well, then
Let's
that's
not
why.
jump the shark, as they say.
Very good.
I mean, can I?
I'm sorry. DJ's
No, that's
telling
all
us to stay off the weed. So
This is DJ's topic. He's
Yeah.
not here. We're covering it for him.
Yeah.
What's up, DJ? It's nice to
Is.
keeping the seat warm
He's
for you, man.
homesick.
Oh.
Do you have your snuggie?
But it's not stopping him from commenting left and right.
He's under a snuggie.
Man,
So,
there's
go
some
ahead,
se-
Bob. What were you going to say?
Nah, I just the past a little bit. I think you just there was one game, I forget which game it was, but there was 31 passes in a row.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
God,
that's,
yes.
I mean, talking about putting players in better positions, I think that's you alluded to this a little bit, but you got to put Jalen if you want him to drop back and pass. This is how Carson Wentz got killed.
Mhm.
Offset the pass by running the ball. It's not that hard. And these guys think that they're trying to reinvent the game. Just run the ball.
Yeah, and I'm still on the side that I don't know that Sirianni's trying to reinvent it. I just think he doesn't know it. Well
he has
enough
no
yet.
clue what he's
He doesn't
doing.
know it well enough yet.
But you know what's funny? Like DJ's saying, like stay off the weed, and are we really back? You look at this schedule.
That's where I want to go
After the
next.
freaking Chargers, dude, you can't tell me we're not better than the Redskins or Giants. The Saints just lost Jameis Winston. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. We could go on a streak. Denver's not good.
So let's.
No,
We got.
No,
you
I
guys
hear
seem.
you.
You guys are a little confident in the Chargers. I think the Chargers is.
I think Chargers.
If they're clicking, we can't keep up with the
but
Chargers.
here's the thing. I think getting,
Herbert doesn't do well coming east.
not only that,
He's
and
only played for a
it's-
year, but-
and it's supposed to be a little chillier on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you have to dial up pressure. And if the Eagles run the ball and don't give Herbert, as much time.
it's the same.
It's a simple math. Like you run the ball,
Keep
so
him
that
off
the
the field.
opposing offense is
Yeah.
off the field.
Mm-hmm.
So they
And when
have
you run the ball, your defense is fresher too.
that we go out to Denver, back home against New Orleans. Who knows who the quarterback will be at that point
It's
with New
probably,
Orleans?
Probably gonna be
Taysom
Hill.
You think Hill's back by
Right,
then?
and they don't have.
He's still on IR, right? He's not back yet.
I don't know if he's back. or
It's
not.
Simeon's quarterbacking this weekend for them.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
either
then
way,
you're
that's a
at the
winnable
Giants,
game.
at the Jets,
Oh, the Jets.
home against Washington, home against the Giants, at Washington, and then home against
That's
Dallas.
what I'm saying. The Giants are bad, man.
Giants are bad. Washington hasn't looked good.
What? Yeah. I mean, does Tyler Heineke or Heineke
He,
scare you?
he doesn't scare me, no.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Does Teddy Bridgewater scare you? They just got rid
Just
of Von
going-
Miller. They're getting rid of they don't
Yeah.
have wide receivers.
Except Jerry Judy.
Yeah, he just came back.
Judy just came back.
Hamler's out. Like
And Shutton.
Sutton, yeah. And no offense, not COVID, because I just saw that.
That's
on
just this
fantasy.
week.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just, all right,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. He's out
Devontae
this
just
week.
got off the COVID list.
Who?
Did they take him off?
Who?
Yeah. I have him
Devontae.
on fantasy.
Devontae?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good for you.
Yeah, but last week you look at it in a silo, right? It was the shitty Lions. I thought they were going to lose last week. They played well. They came out. They did what they needed to do. Dan Campbell was on the last Lions team that went 0-16. Imagine now he's the coach and they're going to go 0-17.
No.
Like we
As a
talked-
player or coach?
as a player, he was their
As a
tight end.
player.
But we talked about it on last Sunday that if you're the Lions, you were looking at your schedule going forward. That Eagles game was the one game you felt
Yeah.
like you could have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked.
And you
And
got
that's-
destroyed at home.
Yes.
That's what,
They're checking out, right?
I mean, the number one pick. I mean, but what do you? Are they
There's
tanking
no
for a
one good in
quarterback?
this
Right.
draft.
I mean, in
class.
our sake, I hope they do. If we get that number 2 pick, they get a quarterback, because then we can get that
I can't
stud
see them.
defensive end
Yeah.
from Oregon. But like,
Or,
dude, I don't know.
What quarterback? Like what's the top pick? Out of the 3 picks, what's the highest we're gonna pick?
probably
Like you said, you have a stretch of games where you can potentially
I'm
win.
not
win
talking
them.
about that pick. I'm talking
No,
about
I'm talking
Miami.
Miami's pick?
Miami.
Yeah,
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
1-8. I don't think we're a top 10 pick with this schedule. I think I've said it
Probably
before.
not.
We're probably an 8-win team.
okay, but what about Miami?
Yeah.
What's the highest do you think they'll be? You think they're gonna get the
Miami's-
1 overall?
Miami's going to be 2 or 3 or
Miami's
4.
going to be in the 2 to 5.
So what's the
Yeah.
top quarterback? Who's the top quarterback
No,
in
I
this
guess it's
draft?
That's the thing.
Coral
It's
from-
not,
There's
a,
not
it's
really-
not
it's
a
not a deep
strong.
quarter-
It's not
And
a
this
strong
is
quarterback class.
Philadelphia's luck. They
Right.
drafted the
That's-
top
that's
3,
exactly
and there's
what I
no one
said.
up there.
Yes. Yes.
It happened with the Flyers too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely disagree. Completely disagree.
On what?
On the quarterback talk. We went from Donovan to Carson. What are you guys talking about?
What are you talking?
There's,
What are you
there's
talking
nobody in the
about?
college
You said the
class
luck
coming
of
out.
you said the luck of the draft with the quarterbacks.
Right, because there's nobody coming
No,
out
No,
Talking
it's
about
it's
this
about
year.
that is
yeah.
a top pick in as
Yeah.
a quarterback.
But when we had a top pick, we took a quarterback.
No,
Right,
no.
but-
What we're saying is there's
Because
not
there were
anybody-
there's
quarterbacks
nobody
there.
worth
There's
a
no
number
Trevor
1 pick.
Lawrence. There's nobody in this
Okay,
class.
I mean,
Joe
I get
Barrow.
what you guys are saying. I'm just saying, like, I think we've lucked out, right? Nobody liked the Donovan pick, but he was the best quarterback that's ever wear Eagles green. You know, if you look at the numbers.
Right, but I'm saying my point
He's
is
also
that
the
you know
quarterback
the
that
Eagles
got
get a
sick the
top
most.
3 pick and there's no Trevor Lawrence available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
agree, but hold on, Smitty, you don't agree with the Donovan's the best quarterback that ever
No,
wore
I
green?
agree. I also said that Donovan's the quarterback that threw up the most in Eagles history. That's
No,
a fact too.
But Donovan,
But I'm not
Donovan was-
debating that though. That's
Okay.
not my
Nate, Donovan was talked about coming out. You know, that was a big
What?
class.
I
of
don't know
quarterbacks coming
because
out.
that was I know
No,
I
he
get
was-
that, but that was Ricky's draft, right? We all
Correct.
wanted
That was-
Ricky
Yeah, but
Williams.
there was like 4 or 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that
there
draft.
was-
What we're saying is
What
that
other quarterback came out in that draft?
Tim
Dante
Couch,
Culpepper.
Akili Smith, Dante
Cade
Culpepper.
McNown,
Yeah,
they all
it was a
went in the
good
top
draft for
10.
quarterbacks
Yeah.
that year.
and we got the best
And
one.
what
Yeah.
we're saying, the
By
Eagles,
far, too, by the way.
Right.
the
Yeah.
Eagles have a high draft pick or will have a high draft pick, but there's nobody coming out as a quarterback that's worth using that
Yeah.
high draft
And
pick
look-
on.
Unless
No,
you
and
look-
I
like
agree with
Donovan
that.
McNabb was worth that high draft
Correct.
pick.
So was
Correct.
Wentz.
There's no
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
but there's
yeah.
no
So,
one.
But there's
who-
nobody
what we're
in that
saying-
class right now.
Besides the defensive
guess-
end from Oregon.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is the fact that is you're saying that now, like it's just the Eagles' luck. But I feel like it's the Eagles' luck has been on the good side when they've had that
Oh,
draft
no,
pick.
we're just saying this year that we have 3 first-round picks.
Oh,
There's
okay,
not a good
okay.
quarterback.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing.
Why are you
like-
dwelling on the past, man? We're
Yeah.
talking about the future.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
You got to look it back to go forward.
I will say, like, the kid from Ole Miss, kind of, I like a little bit. But then the other one's like the quarterback from Pitt. I ain't taking a quarterback from Pitt in the top 5. I'll tell you that right now.
We don't need a quarterback.
You could trade for a quarterback, which I'm sure we're going to get into, right? Like the big hot rumors.
Yeah,
Russell
yeah, we'll
Wilson,
get into the rumors. We'll get into the rumors.
You know,
Pat Bernard is joined.
Oh,
Hey, what's going on, Pat?
Another trader.
salt is in the air.
another trader who thought the grass was greener on the other
last out
side.
media for the last place podcast.
Bob, just
We
just
building bridges or
because
burning
we have the air of the audience right now. How good does this motherfucking studio look compared to when you started?
Can we cross 8 o'clock?
No, it's good,
Can
man.
you use the F-bomb?
But you know, you treat your employees better, they might stay.
my mom's watching, so I'm not using the F-bomb tonight.
But the studio, the studio looks good. I'm
Appreciate
not gonna
it.
knock the studio. I mean,
Appreciate it.
I don't knock anything. Just hey, it is what it is, right?
So we got Chargers coming in.
Yeah.
You guys seemed a little more confident in that than I did. Um,
I'm only confident because I look
I
at the
think we
line.
lose.
I look at the line.
I think
The line?
Herbert and Allen and Eckler are just going to go off against us.
but what? But like
They could,
They
but I think if the Eagles play the same game that they did, and I'm not saying pass the ball 14 times versus running 40, whatever they
I
did.
guarantee you, if the Eagles get down 14-0 or 10-0, they're going to throw the ball the rest of the game.
Get down.
that's
Yeah.
a hot take. Really?
Yes.
Because if I'm down in the game, I'm probably gonna pass the ball too.
Yeah, but it depends on it depends on game situation.
First
how
half.
much
First
And
half, it's
when?
going to be 10-0 or 14-0. They're going to throw the ball.
10-0 first half,
The
you
rest-
still don't have to pass the ball.
Wait,
that much.
Sirianni will
I
throw
think-
the
I
ball
think
the
Pat-
rest
but
of the
I
game.
mean,
But
I know,
that's something
I know.
that Andy Reid did
Hold
too.
on,
He
hold
would get
on,
down
hold on.
and
Right.
panic.
Right.
We might be overvaluing the Chargers a little bit. They started hot, but they've lost, and they've
Correct.
lost to some crappy
Correct.
teams. Dude, do not tell me
they
New
lost to the
England's good
Patriots. Yeah.
in
Who?
LA. They lost to New England last week in LA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it got
This-
spanked
New
by
England-
Baltimore
All right.
here, but
But Mac
on the
Jones-
East Coast.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Bill Belichick
Didn't
is
they
a good
lose to
coach.
somebody else too that wasn't that good? Because they beat the Chiefs, but they lost to somebody else. Was it the Browns?
I don't
The
know.
Cowboys.
No, they beat the
lost.
Season with a
Browns.
loss.
They lost to the Cowboys
They lost to the Patriots and the Ravens
and the
Okay.
Cowboys.
and the Cowboys.
Well,
Yeah, they're 4-3.
Do you think they win the next Dallas game?
It's
Eagles?
here,
It's
It's
ladies.
in Philadelphia, man.
I'm going to tell you right
It's
now.
the last game of the year.
you
There's
see the
too much to happen in
You
between.
saw the offensive coordinator might be leaving, right?
Who, the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Who?
If he-
cares?
Moore? Go
Yes.
Who cares?
TCU.
where? In the middle of the season?
Why not? If he gets a college
What?
job,
In the
he's
middle
got-
of the
If he
season?
gets a college job, he's going to have to leave because he's going to have
Matt
to
Rule,
recruit.
Jim said he's probably going to leave if Carolina stinks.
Yeah, but I'm not talking.
Yeah,
about
but he's
state.
not going to leave in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but if you're an offensive coordinator in the NFL and you're taking a college job next year, you're leaving ASAP to recruit for the spring.
And also,
Wow.
an off topic, did you notice that all top 4 teams in the ranking this week for college football used to win on Nick Saban?
Their
Wait,
coaches are.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
He's got a coaching tree. I mean, look, hate the guy.
Alabama
But he's-
Alabama 2's a joke.
That is.
Alabama
They should
at
not.
They
two.
should not be.
They should be like
You lost
5.
to a Texas A&M team that's 4-3. Oregon is a joke too. You beat Ohio State, but then you
I agree
freaking
with Paul.
lost to
Paul-
Stanford.
I think the only thing I agree with Paul on is what he said on Facebook the other day.
Oh, I don't follow him.
What was it?
He
What did he
said
say?
they suck at the college
Who?
football ranking.
That's
Well,
always
Franklin made
been
it-
an issue, though.
Frank-
They've
yeah,
always
But
sucked.
Franklin made a good point today too in his press conference. He's like, "How are you going to judge the playoff rankings fairly when some conferences play 7 conference games, some conferences play 8 conference games, some conferences don't play FCS or Division 2, Division 3. Some schools do. Like you have to have a uniform thing. So like all of these power conferences have to play the same amount of conference games, and they have to play the same amount of out of conference games.
But you know why they won't do it? Because of this reason. Because people will scream and bitch all season long and during the playoffs that they're getting it wrong. They can
Is
fix
it-
it. They can fix it. They can fix it. Because if everything's conformed and it works the way everybody wants it to work, you're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Number one and
Is
number
it
two
still-
are the right
is
number
it
one and
4
number
or
two are the right
16?
ones.
But what happens?
They
is-
fixed it
So
yet?
here's the thing: every conference plays.
Smitty?
What?
Is it 4 or 16?
It's 4. Every conference plays the same amount of conference games, and you play the same amount of teams in. Like if you're going to do Division 1 or FCS, whatever, or nobody plays them, you play that, right? Everybody plays the same schedule. You open it up to either an 8 or 16 game playoff. One plays 16, kind of
Or
like a
one
March
gets a bye.
Madness, or one gets a bye. Like that's how you have to do it. Because
It
every
sounds
year,
great.
every year you're
It
going to
does.
have an argument. Because here's an argument that I'll give you that I know people don't. Shout out to the American Conference and Cincinnati. They're 6. They beat Notre Dame and they still can't get in the top 4.
Paul thinks Notre Dame should be 4. They should not be number 4.
No, Notre Dame shouldn't.
No, but Cincinnati should be in the top 4.
They should
Cincinnati
should
should,
be like 2.
absolutely be in the top 4.
Cincinnati should be 2. It should be Georgia. I agree. Cincinnati.
There's no way
Maybe
you put Cincinnati over Bama, bro.
What?
they're better.
Cincinnati's not better than Bama.
Yeah, but does
Their
it?
record may look better, but I don't know that they're a better team.
But either way, I'm not even
They're-
saying Cincinnati
Bama
is
lost
better
in
than Bama.
Texas A&M.
Nate, what I'm saying is Cincinnati should be in the top 4. They beat 2 ranked teams, and
Right.
I think they're a better team than Oregon.
I haven't looked at it, but
they're
who's
better than
over?
Oregon.
Who's over them? Just Oregon? You just arguing the Oregon?
No, Oregon
And Michigan State
Michigan
and-
State and
Michigan State's what, 3?
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Michigan State's undefeated. I don't have a problem with that. Who's
Yeah.
5? Ohio State.
Was that
I
game
didn't look
against
past the
Michigan
top
in
4,
Michigan
no.
State or in Michigan? Well, I guess it doesn't
It
really
was
matter.
at
It was at Michigan State.
I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean,
Andrew, I just
whatever.
want to say
That's a move.
this is the most he's ever talked. like ever. Jesus.
If you get him started,
He's
on
got
those,
it.
There's an open seat. He's moving in.
He's just
Big Brother's not
dropping.
going to be here. He's moving in.
It don't matter if it's good or not. Is he just dropping?
Just hot.
Just hot.
Go ahead. What do you got, Smitty?
No, I think other than the Oregon, I think
Ohio
the committee
State's
got
fine.
it. I think Cincinnati not being in is ridiculous. Like, what else do you want them to do? They're playing the American Conference, but they play.
That's the problem.
but they
Move
played-
conferences.
but
That's the
they-
only way they're going to.
They beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. That's a bigger win than almost anybody else has.
Yeah,
Like, they should be in the top 4,
Where are they? 6?
but that's
6,
They're
right?
6 behind Ohio State.
I know what you're saying. I
every
get what you're saying.
what is it like every 5 years now? It seems like they try to revamp the BCS and how they're doing the rankings and the coaches ranking and all of it, and it just it's fodder for.
Aren't they going
arguments,
for a
like-
playoff? Aren't they going for a playoff soon?
I would love to see.
No, but I thought they were approving something like in the next year. It was an 8 or 16 team playoff, not this year.
I thought it was 6.
Let me ask this question: How is you're gonna? This is gonna hurt, Jim. How is Penn State still even ranked?
Because they have 2 top 20 wins.
See, it's funny because then there was a guy.
They have 2 top 20 wins.
They're not ranked.
Trent Klatt
They
was
are.
on Cowherd today arguing that they should be ranked higher. Penn State, like
You know,
How?
because they have
That coach is so over. I'm so he's the most
no,
overrated
look,
coach in
I'm
football.
with you, Bob. I want
I had
Franklin
their
gone.
rankings right
I want
here.
Penn
They're not
State to
ranked.
do well. You know what I mean? Like I never went there, but like I want to see them do well, and I just get frustrated. The guy called. Is it me or does he call like relatively the same plays in the end zone?
well, he's
How
not,
is Kentucky
he's
ranked?
not calling the plays.
Is Kentucky good
That's
this
the
year?
thing people need to realize. He's not calling the plays. He's like the CEO up there. He makes the hiring.
So he's like a baseball coach. He's a baseball manager. He's a
calling the
baseball
same
manager.
thing. I
He
mean-
just sits there
I
and
mean-
hopes that everybody else bench coach take care of it.
Well, when
First
you
base,
when you
third-
bring in one of the top offensive coordinators in the country, like that average 40 points, you expect him to take the offense.
So what? He's just a pretty face that does the recruiting.
No, I think he
Ugh.
just does the recruiting and runs the show. The reason why Penn State's still ranked is they have Auburn and Wisconsin wins, which are
Auburn
both 2
is-
top 15 wins.
Auburn's
and-
13.
Right.
and they played
so
Ohio
that's
State
why.
tight
Right.
till they
A&M's
didn't.
A&M's
And they're going to
14.
spoil Michigan State season while DJ's at home. I'm telling you right now. They're going to win at the end of the year at Michigan State. I guarantee it.
I said they were going to beat
And they
Ohio
will-
State and
and
then
they
screw it
will.
up
And
later.
you think Penn State?
I think Penn State's going to beat Michigan and Michigan State.
Dude,
Where's-
that is the
because-
that is the biggest hot
Where's
take.
those
Michigan
games at?
State
Why,
and
so
Happy
wait,
Valley.
let me tell you.
Are they at
no,
Mich- are they
no,
out of
let me tell you
Michigan?
why it's not a hot take. And you're not even a Penn State fan. Tell me how good Penn State looked when Clifford was healthy. They were
They
smoking
are.
Iowa.
They are pretty.
They look
good.
good.
So what
They
makes you
are.
think in
Don't they have
in
the
2
number
or
1
3
ranked
weeks
too?
when Clifford's completely healthy, they're not going to win?
That is
That,
true.
that first half last week, the Penn State looked really, really good.
They
On
did.
both sides of it,
Except for the
Is he a
snap
senior?
especially their
infraction.
defense.
If they
snap-
call snap infraction,
That
changed
was
the whole game.
bullshit. That
Right.
is such
They,
bullshit.
But
and
that's-
Dotson's good too. The wide receiver they got there.
Yeah.
Dotson's a stud.
Yeah.
But he won't be here next year. But yeah,
No,
Dotson's-
Isn't
he'll
Clifford
be
a
in the
junior or
NFL.
senior?
yeah, he's a senior. Oh, Clifford is like a 6-year senior next year. He has one more eligibility year because of COVID, but I hope he leaves.
And then you had the number 1 ranked kid coming in.
Yeah, number ranked quarterback in the country. Yeah.
And then you probably had the prep kid coming over. Or
No, that's Meathead's take over there.
and Harrison.
I didn't say he's coming here. I
And
said
Harrison.
he's
He's
going to
gonna
transfer to Ohio
transfer.
State. Why is he going to stay there when he's
And
got
Harrison.
he's got 3 guys behind him next year?
No, I agree with you.
If he
what
comes
you're
Penn
saying,
State, that'd be great. But
I'm saying
Meathead-
Isn't Harrison?
what he's
is
saying.
Harrison
It was
gonna transfer
your.
too?
That's your take.
You think Harrison's going to transfer with them?
I don't know
My-
where Harrison's at.
My
on the
point
depth
is,
chart.
it's not being talked about in the press.
Of
You
course
know,
not.
all right.
Yeah.
writers
How
or
the
anybody
hell is-
like that.
Kentucky ranked.
I mean, they play in the SEC. They have some good wins. You know who their quarterback is?
No.
The guy that backed up Clifford last year. He's having a better year left.
Oh, really? Is that what?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're 6-2, but they do not seem like a 6-2
Yeah, but they
team.
play in the SEC. They beat Florida. They beat some good teams.
Oh yeah, Florida is pretty good.
All right.
All right,
can't believe we
can we
got-
get
Yeah,
back to the
enough
pros?
college, enough
Yeah,
college
thank you.
football. And we're going to run into a break. We want to do our Eagles predictions now, in case we start running wild with Sixers and Phils and Flyers, or do we want to wait
Phillies?
till the end of the game? Well, I mean, I said we could go 4 for 4 tonight.
Is
It
Tone coming on
might
tonight?
be a quick. I think Tone's going to try to
'Cause
jump on if he's
the-
got a minute.
the-
I
the
know the
degenerate-
degenerates are looking
Yeah.
for some plays.
Yeah, Tone's
Wait,
on
come
right
on.
now. He's
Halloween?
waiting. He's waiting.
Wait,
Tones is-
predictions? I
Yeah. We'll do our predictions now.
All right.
Eagles loss. Close one. I'm going 28-21. Chargers.
I got a good one.
I'm going to go Eagles. Eagles win 24-20. What's the line, by the way?
1.5.
1.5.
And it was down and it was 4.5 Monday for the Chargers.
Wow.
What did you say? 24, 21?
24-20.
24-20.
Eagles.
Eagles?
Bobby, you're up.
Robert,
I was
that is you.
You can say my number.
24-21
All right.
Eagles.
All right.
I got 28-24.
Uh-oh.
Jordan Howard rushing touchdown.
God.
Jalen
Oh,
Hurts. Jalen Hurts rushing
My man.
touchdown.
I
think he's figured it out.
I got 24-21, 60-yard field goal to win the game by Jake Elliott.
Whoa.
That comes at
At the buzzer? At the
Yeah,
gun?
like they did against
At
on the
gun?
Giants.
Wow.
That would turn and that turned.
And then they
season
pushed.
real.
Then they make a playoff push.
You got one, Nate?
Really?
I know you don't like to give scores. You're like Kiva. Kiva never used to give us scores either. He would just say they're either going to win or lose.
Yeah,
Come
don't
on,
ever
man.
compare me to Kevon.
Well, I mean, you got the gambling. You got the gambling angle. You should come up with some
I'm
points.
trying.
and some scores
You know
for us
what?
here.
I'm torn because what I'm thinking is that there's no way that the Chargers lose this game.
Mhm.
But Herbert is 1-4 coming across the pine, and the problem is that I mean, you guys all said it. Well, especially Smitty, the line is dropped, right?
What is the line?
I don't know. It's 1.5.
and it started at 4.5.
I mean, it might have opened at 4.5.
He's got nothing to do with
Yeah.
this.
I think this is a trap game for the Chargers.
But it's just
We
like
said the
it's,
same thing for
it's
the
not a
Niners.
good spot for
Or
the
you did.
Chargers. That's
I
the
agree with
problem.
that.
So it's just not a good spot. So I might lean towards the total. So doing like the over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the over is 50.5. Against good offenses, the Eagles have averaged giving up almost like 30 points. So I think they do score, get in the zone. So I would probably look that way instead of trying to guess where it's at, because you can't ignore the fact that how much money has come on the Birds. Like you just can't ignore it.
Yeah, it's not all
Like that 3 points is like just major. Now I know everybody's betting. I talk about on Money Pop Podcast that like, yo, over in Jersey, we're at $1 billion a month in Jersey alone. Like it's $1 billion in Jersey. It's I think like 700 in Nevada, and then it's almost like 600 to 700 in PA. So just on the East Coast is $500 million. So when you look at the line, the question is that public money
yeah,
or
is that
like
smart money?
or is that exactly. So I would like when I see stuff like that, I can't get a gauge of it. I don't have a feel. I'll pull away and see if I can see some value somewhere else.
The only thing that worries me is this is kind of like the same thing that happened at Vegas line. Remember that Vegas line was like 1.5, and then
tanked.
the Eagles got smoked.
Yeah. Well, look, if you're looking at the rankings of these teams, Eagles total offense is 19th, Chargers are 12th. Our total defense is 9th. We're 9th overall in the league, and they're the 18th. So if you just do that net out, we come out at a +2.
We have the ninth.
The
best
9th defense in the league right
Oh,
now.
I thought you meant
Yes.
offense. That's what
Our
I said.
offense,
There's
our
no
offense is
way.
19th, which
That's
is better than I
crazy.
would have thought.
We rip Gannon every week, and we got the 9th best defense in the
Yep.
league.
And we got the 4th best red zone offense apparently, but we don't get to the red zone all that often. So
Yeah.
How do we
all right,
have the
we're
ninth
gonna
best? Wow.
we're gonna take a quick break to thank our sponsors and get another drink. And when we come back, Tone's gonna come on and give us some picks for the week. And Tone's a hockey guy, Bob. So Tone will love to talk some Flyers with us, I'm sure. Hang around. You're listening to the Sand and Boot First podcast.
Chop it
I
up.
don't want to clean your beard.
InsurePhilly.com. We comparison shop all the time. Can I get this cheaper on Amazon? What will the store brand save me? Should I get a second estimate on this remodel? So why not do that for your insurance needs? Better yet, why not have someone comparison shop for you? At InsurePhilly.com, you can get up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes with top insurance carriers like Progressive, Travelers, Nationwide, Selective, Liberty Mutual, Encompass, Kemper, and Berkshire Hathaway. Owner agent Matt Maloney provides top national carriers with top local service. Just go to InsurePhilly.com to get your quote online or call Matt at 215-300-9590. For all your insurance needs, auto, home, life, business, and Medicare insurance plans, make sure to go to InsurePhilly.com today or call 215-300-9590. Matt Maloney gives you the national carriers you recognize from a local company you can trust. InsurePhilly.com. always like coming back with a Pharaoh munch. It's a good call, Nate.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
yeah. I like that. That beat is ridiculous.
Yes. All right. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight on a beautiful Thursday evening here on the Santa Mood First podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, insurephilly.com and Matt Maloney. All your insurance needs get up to 10 quotes in about 10 minutes. And on the line with us, like we have every Thursday this season during football season, the one, the only Tone. Tone's takes. We're going to get some picks from Tone this week. And I'm sure, Tone, we got somebody in the studio with us tonight. Our guy, Bob, he's a big hockey fan. So I think we might want a hockey pick or two.
Yes.
Thoughts on the Flyers. And we already got degenerates asking where Tone is for some plays for the week. So people are waiting for you, Tone. So what do we got this week? What's going on?
I'll give you some fades like I did last week. Wasn't good last week, but, it happens. So
Happens to the best of us.
Yep. So lines are still coming out for props, but 3 that I got my eye on. First one is Mike Joseki, longest reception over 19.5. It's minus 115 on DraftKings. He's hit it in 6 of 8 games this year and the last 6. Texans, they give up 11.9 yards per catch to tight ends. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Joseki has 11.9 yards per catch. Texans give up about 12 yards per catch to tight ends. So Tua's been looking for him for a lot of deep balls. So this game should be competitive. Tyrod Taylor's back for Houston, so I don't anticipate like a blowout here. Although Miami's not going to blow anybody out, so I wouldn't worry on that end. So next, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not to interrupt you there, Tone. You think that Tua plays better the rest of the season now, knowing? I mean, I don't think even if they did trade for Watson, Watson wasn't going to play this season. But now that he's kind of got that off his shoulders, you guys think Tua's going to? We don't want Tua to play better, right? We want him to continue to stink for our pick. But you guys thinking?
Me personally, I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a young kid coming out of college to play under. I think I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I think it's the level of consistency about the people around him too.
Yeah,
how they haven't been really good either.
I saw you're talking about Joseki here, Tony. Our guy, our friend Marcus Grant, friend of the show from NFL Network. He said that I think Joseki's been like the number one.
You guys should bring him back too.
We'll try. I'll hit him up. We're friends. But I think he said that he's been like the number one tight end over the last 5 weeks in the league.
Yeah, he's been on fire. His yard, I think he's like top 4 in yardage. I was looking at it earlier when I was researching. I think he's like 4th highest yardage out of tight ends or something. Something I saw like that. So
yeah,
he didn't do anything really the first couple of weeks. He was kind of quiet, but he's been coming on. So.
Right, I guess with guys like Kelsey not really playing well, Waller being injured, Kittle being injured, like somebody's got to step up.
It's been a weird year for tight ends. Yeah, it's been a weird year for tight ends.
All right, go ahead. You had another coming up there. What do you got?
Yeah, we got A.J. Dillon over 35.5 rushing yards, minus 120 on DraftKings. Had a bust-out game last week. He's actually hit this number in 3 of his last 5. Green Bay's going to start a rookie quarterback, Jordan Love, so they may look to run the ball a little bit more, maybe like give Aaron Jones a little break. Kansas City's rush defense is 22nd, so this is a low number. I kind of like this. I like what I saw out of him last week, especially running in between the tackles. Like dude's a beast. So I think he's going to have a good second half of the year here. And then the last football prop. Cordell Patterson over 33.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. 2 games without Calvin Ridley this year. He's hit 60 and 37 on 9 and 5 targets. And he's actually hit this number in 5 of 7 games this year and 5 of his last 6. And he's involved in the passing game. He lines up in the backfield. He catches balls. Matt Ryan looks for him. So I think that's going to be a good play this week, especially without Ridley coming up. So. Those are the 3 that I have lined up for right now.
Tone, what was that one again?
Cordell Patterson.
What was the prop at again?
33.5 receiving yards over, minus 115 on DraftKings.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a guy that's this year, like, he came out of nowhere.
I love him.
Yeah.
Built for fantasy purposes, yeah. But
you
Bill
really
Bell,
think he came out of nowhere? I don't think he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, man, he's a receiver.
He's always been like a one-trick pony.
Yeah, but he's never had this opportunity, though. He's never had this much usage.
I don't know, man. They tried to make it work with Minnesota. He got drafted by the Vikings, right? That
But
was
then he went to the
6 years
Raiders.
ago.
Yeah, but he could never play running back in Minnesota.
Well,
right?
But he was a receiver, though. He
And
shouldn't
he
have been a
played
running back.
last year in New England.
I think that's what happened. I think Belichick looked at
Yeah.
this guy and said, "This is where he needs to be playing," and now he's getting the opportunity. And
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Exactly.
he was drafted as a receiver. He was supposed to be a top receiver, and
Yep.
Don't worry, Howie's going to overpay
You know.
for him in the offseason.
yeah,
Overpay for? We'll overpay for Cordell. Patterson.
He's more like a
Yeah.
downhill. He always was a hard runner though.
yeah, he's
Like
a big
he wasn't.
guy.
I just thought that he was. I thought that he was a hard runner with the Patriots.
yeah,
He is a hard runner.
Like
Yeah, he was a good kick returner. That's what he did mainly in Minnesota.
Fast as hell. They used him as a kick returner.
Yep.
Good for him.
he found a role.
Yes, sir.
I like to play though. That's why I asked you to repeat it because I do like to play because really such a big part of their offense. People don't
Yeah.
understand that. Like really, he's like always in like the top 5, top 6 in receiving yards. So they have to throw it to somebody outside of Pitts. Like it's somebody else has got to step up. I think they have who is it? What's his name?
Russell Gage.
Russell
No, it's
Gage.
not Gage. It's another guy too. There they have there that kind of steals. He has I forget his name off the top of my head, but he has a couple deep balls every once in a while. So I like it. I think that's a good gym right there. I think that's almost a lock.
You're calling that a lock?
I think
Oh, yeah, the L word.
out of
Don't
the
use
three,
the L word.
Lock. I'm staying away from that.
yeah, right. Don't
Take
do
the
that.
under, take
You'll
the under.
lose. I've liked a lot of Tone's play. I always have. I share him when I do like one of his plays, and I say, hey, I'm staying away from that one. I
Yeah,
think
yes,
I've
you
been
do. Yep.
almost 3-0 when I said I stayed away from that one. I think I've called the right call, and I think
Darnell
this one-
Mooney comes to mind.
yeah, but I think this one right here. I think if for everybody listening, who bets, who plays, I think that's what's that line? Was it -115, -120?
Minus 115 on DraftKings right now.
Right, I'm on the money. I don't even know that one, and I know where the line is because it makes sense. So yeah, absolutely, lock that in for sure. Somebody asked me for a play. That's the play. I'm following my guy Tone. At Tone Takes at Twitter. Just don't follow me. Follow everybody. I'll get his. The one thing about betting, you got to understand, it's good to be in your tunnel, right, and think that you know. But it's so much better. It's so much better to see what everybody else sees. Like it used to be, like cappers would be against each other, but now that the game has changed and there's so many people giving bets out, just follow people's bets.
That's
You know what I mean? Like don't like you guys have done it. You guys have done it on this show. You've taken bets from me, you've taken
Yeah.
bets for Tone, and you made like $1,500. Don't reinvent the wheel. Let the other people do the fucking work.
that's my Sunday mornings. I got all the guys I follow. I got my screenshots when I see them
Right,
come
man.
through Twitter, and I write them all down. And
It's-
I look at the ones and I go, "This one makes complete sense to me. I'm with this one." And I'll play the straight ones. Some of them I'll put together in a nice little parlay. It doesn't always work, but
it's
that's
smart.
what I do. I
Yo,
look
this is the key. This is the gem. It's smart money. Like I do my own research and work, and then I post it. Same with Tone.
Yep.
So why do I feel the need to be in my ego and say, "Hey, let me go do the same thing"? Like I understand you should be in the know and know what's going on, but let somebody else do the hard work.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A follow costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. There's no money in that. Tone's giving out free picks. Follow. Like what, you know what I mean? Like if he's gonna do the work for you, I follow Tone. Like there's no like I've given you credit when I've taken your plays, but I've taken a couple plays and hit thousands of dollars because I added another leg in a parlay because I saw it from Tone. I saw it, did my research. I say, hey, this makes sense. Added it to a 4 or 5 leg parlay, hit for $1,500.
Nice
That's no bullshit.
stuff, man. Thank you.
That's no bullshit.
Nate, have you been watching me?
No.
I come in here, I throw a question on the table, and then I sit back. Let them do the work.
That's right.
Right.
That's right, dude.
It's so smart. People
Right.
want it. People want that glory. Like, oh, I made
Let
that
these
call.
guys do the work.
No. At the end
Work
of the day,
smarter,
it's
not
about winning
harder.
and losing.
Yeah. Let
You
the
wanna
hot takes
win
come
and
from the other
losing.
side of the table.
So if I don't know hockey, like this, like I don't know hockey whatsoever. I told you, only person I know is Wayne Simmons. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. But I don't. But I know some hockey. But I let the people who follow it, who watch it every day, I trust their call. They show me their numbers, right? They are consistent in winning. Nobody's going to ever be hot like 90%. Like, as long as you're winning more than you're losing, I like you. You're my guy.
All right, let's get off the gambling side of it. But stick around with us, Tone, because we're going to get into the hockey segment of the show. You guys
All right.
know our loyal listeners, we get some heat sometimes because we don't do a lot of hockey talking here.
Our man Pat Sweeney down under is waiting with bated breath.
Yes, we got.
He's giving us play-by-play on Carter saves and whatnot.
Our Aussie friend told us that the Flyers are now tied 1-1.
Yeah.
Great score by Connect Me. Bob's a hockey guy. Tone's a hockey guy. Just give us why we need to be excited about the Flyers this year. I can't get into any other sport, even basketball, until football season's over. But give me the preview. Why I need to be fired up. Why do I need to be fired up and be ready to go once my birds stop stinking?
Me first.
whoever-
First.
Yeah.
I think the Flyers right now are in an interesting spot. Everyone was questioning Carter Hart. It's still, listen, the season's young, but I really do believe that the playoffs are made in the front portion of the season, like right now. For the most part, they're playing with everyone healthy. Carter Hart seems to be finding his stride. So if that keeps up and the defense can keep playing the way they're playing, slow things down in front of Hart, make it simpler for them like they have been, I think that's just reason right there to be excited that you have a goaltender. And I had this conversation the other day. I'm not looking for Carter Hart at this stage to be Mike Richter or Patrick Waugh. We just need consistency from him. Stop letting in the soft goals. He let some soft goals into the very beginning of the season. I just think right now, you're seeing him catch that stride a little bit. You're seeing the team gel together. And that's just, for me, the defense. Ristolainen was a good move. They have grit to the lineup, which is something that they haven't had in over 6 years. They added Nate Thompson. Sealer can brawl. Like, the fighting's not a huge part of the game anymore, but you certainly need the dirty, grinding type players. In a game against Vancouver, they went after Giroux, and they said after the game, Nate Thompson said after the game, look, they went after our captain, and we responded. I haven't heard that come out of a Flyers player mouth in nearly 6 or 7 years.
Forever, yep.
Yeah. And so I think that's another element to be. I mean, do we have Dave Schultz here? No.
Yeah.
But they're grinding. The goalie's playing, finding his stride. The defense looks good. They're putting the puck in the net. So, I think right now, overall, like right this moment in time in the season, it's coming along really well. That's one many reasons he should be fired up right now. Now, whether that keeps going, it's a long season.
It's a long season. That's another reason why it's tough for me to.
Yeah.
I think they're deeper too than they've been in the past. Definitely, they're better defensively, and they actually have a sniper in Cam Atkinson. Cam Atkinson could score. I think he's like 13th right now in the league in goals. But like, I think Bob hit it on the head. Like, biggest thing we want from Carter Hart before we get to the playoffs is for confidence, because we've seen goalies, if he comes in confident, all it takes is a goalie to get hot to win the cup. We've seen it a couple of years. We saw Quick do it in LA.
Jonathan Quick.
We saw the guy in St. Louis do it a couple of years ago. Like, that's all it takes. So
Lightning good this year? I haven't really watched.
This year's all about building Carter Hart's confidence back up. And I agree with Bob 100%. Like, they have guys that can put the puck in the net, but they also have a bunch of guys that are going to throw their body around and they're going to hit people. And they even had that. You know what I mean? Like, Ruslan in the back, like, that's what they need. A big defenseman that's not afraid to hit. Nate Thompson, again, not afraid to get dirty. Like, I think they have a little bit of a mix of grit, speed, and scoring. And I think that's what you need. And I think, Carter Hart just needs to continue. And the backup goalie's been good too.
I'll say this too. They're finding ways, because in years past, like, nothing changed on the power play. Giroux set on the side, and he was your shooter. Now they're moving him to the point on the other side. They're moving him to the top. They're moving him around to get him open. That's something else to be really excited about, is when your power play starts clicking and Giroux can start scoring, you're putting him in positions where he can rip the puck and score. That's another reason.
Tony, you think it's the right balance? Because you guys are telling me now we got some
I do.
some muckers and grinders, but for years it seemed like the Ed Snyder model wasn't working in the NHL. It was speed, and nobody wanted to hit, right? But I get it. When you don't have somebody in there to stick up for your skilled players and knock somebody around, that doesn't help your team. But do you think it's a good balance now, Tone?
Yeah, that was one of the things that was a knock on the Flyers for so long, that it was, all about fighting and being tough and doing this. Then they completely went away from that over the past couple of years, and they went a little too much away from it. Now they got it back with Ristolainen for sure, and the key, in my opinion, it's just not even with toughness, with attitude, and with leadership. More importantly, because Mister, you know how I feel about Giroux, Jim. He's not a good leader. Cam Atkinson has changed the whole culture in that locker room, and you can just tell by the way that this team is playing for each other. He is a big addition. He's a former 40-goal scorer. He shoots the puck. He has attitude. Adding him to the forward group is done immense things, in my opinion, to this team. Carter Hart, he looks like he's back on track. If you remember before COVID, he was a stone wall at home. He was unbeatable at home. Even the Flyers at home were unbeatable.
Yep.
I see a little bit of that already. Now it's early. It's way too early. They got off to a quick start last year, but they weren't winning games like this. Last year they were playing bad and still winning games, higher scoring games. I see Carter Hart, what I saw 2 years ago. I mean, that obviously is going to be the key. Now we have to see how he does on the road, because he struggled on the road, pretty much his whole
They are
his
down
whole career.
2-1.
Yeah, they are down 2-1.
Bob,
But yeah, it's just a different team that I see, a different attitude. Ryan Ellis has been out for the past few games. He should hopefully be back any day now. And Kevin Hayes, from what I saw, may be back over the weekend. So that's going to be another guy in the forward group down the middle that's gonna help them. If he can get to where he was 2 years ago when his first year here, I mean, that's just going to be, the sky's going to be the limit. And there's still some guys that really haven't gotten going, like Oscar Lindblom. He, before he had the cancer, he was scoring goals too. So you got to think he's going to, he's about a year removed from that. He's going to hopefully get back to that pace too. So I'm excited for him. It is a long season. I think this division can be had. So, we'll see what happens. So definitely excited for the Flyers.
Hey, Tone, how you feeling about the coach? I like the coach. I was glad that they went outside the organization and picked somebody up. And the new GM seems to have made some pretty good moves in the offseason, beefing up that D-line and getting Atkinson in here. Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of AB. Didn't have a good year last year, obviously, and he was probably on the hot seat this year, which, that may have cooled a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Fletcher, I honestly was not a fan of Fletcher. I don't like what he did in Minnesota, especially with Parisi and Suter. Gave them big money, and that just didn't turn out. But I got to say, the moves he made in the offseason, they identified a need and they totally revamped the defense. They added Atkinson. Martin Jones as a backup has been, he was terrible in San Jose, and he's been pretty solid right now. And he's a guy who can stay healthy and maybe spell card a little bit. Brian Elliott had his own injury concern. So, he's pushed all the right buttons so far. We'll see what happens. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with him.
Good.
I think the win that really caught my eye was going into Edmonton. Was
Tone's takes was on that, by the way. Plus 160 hit.
But I think correct me if I'm wrong, Tone, going into that game, Edmonton was 5-0, right? And then and I remember Edmonton even came back. I think we were up 2-0 and then we scored 2. And then we got punched in the mouth and then we came back and scored. Atkinson was a stud in that game. I think he's the difference right now. True sniper.
Well, when you look at a guy like Cam Atkinson, I do believe that the Flyers got the better end of that trade when they traded away Voracek for him, because Cam Atkinson, as you mentioned, is a 40-goal scorer. He can put the puck in the net. Right. But I think what makes him so unique is that he's a two-way player. He can play the penalty kill.
Yeah.
He can play on the power play. You can play him
I honestly
in any situation.
He's one of those guys that you don't realize how good he is until he's on your team. He's one of those guys. You know what I mean? If you're just looking at him watching hockey casually or whatever, it's Cam Atkinson, he scored 40 goals once. What else does he do? Until he's on your team and you see him every play every night, you realize what a big part of the team he is.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We're talking about guys that are parts of the team. I want to talk about a guy that's not a part of the team.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
God, here we go.
So we got to get into it. We're running out of time. Tone, we're going to talk about Ben Simmons. If you want to hang around, you're welcome to. But it gets loud when we talk about Ben Simmons.
His head is shaking now.
That guy, my God.
Do we really need to talk about Ben Simmons, or can we just talk about the Sixers?
We
and
can
what
talk
they're
about how the
doing?
Sixers,
And
how
now
Ben
Now they're
Simmons.
only up by 1 against the freaking
Yeah,
Pistons.
but what he's forgetting is we're down a couple players in Harris and Green, and we played a tough Chicago team.
Yeah, I'm
and
not worried
flew
about
to
the
Detroit
Pistons game.
today.
That Ben Simmons is expendable. If you don't realize that after these games, he's expendable.
And they should
And
have
you can
one
give me
more
all
win.
because I've said it over and over again. He's done jack squat in the playoffs. So don't tell me about how we need him in the playoffs.
I don't want
because
to.
he hasn't shown up in the
Honestly, I
playoffs.
don't even.
He's
wanna,
expendable at this point.
I don't even want to talk about Ben Simmons. I want to talk about what this team's percentages look like with having 5 shooters on the floor. They're number 1, I think, right now in scoring efficiency in the league. Maxey is turning into. He's not ready yet, right? I think we all agree he's not ready to be the guy yet. But he's turning into a nice little player. And defensively, Maxey's a better defensive player than I thought. I mean, the job that he did the other night on Damian Lillard was pretty impressive. Like, yeah, Maxey is very good. But the biggest thing is Daryl Morey stole Seth Curry for Josh Richardson.
That's
Seth Curry is an absolute stud. Right now, the guy's shooting, I think it's 56% from three-point range. Unheard of, dude. Tonight, he had 16 points in the first 9 minutes of the game. Like, if you're going to get that production from Seth Curry without Harris, you know what I mean? And Embiid's not even playing that well. That's the thing we're not even talking about. Embiid's not playing at an MVP level.
he's not an MVP.
Hell of a block last night on freaking DeRozan, right? To steal the game. But, this is not the Embiid that we've seen. And this team's still winning. And they're down Danny Green. And they're down Tobias Harris. And I think what the most impressive thing is look at what Thybulle's doing when he gets those minutes. Thibault is ridiculous. He is a jump shot away. I know we said that about Simmons. Thibault is a jump.
And he'll actually
But at
work.
least he shoots.
Right.
But he's a jump shot away from literally being one of the best two-way players in the league.
Yeah.
His defense is out of the world.
Agreed.
Out of the world.
Dare I say, he's a jump shot away from being what Ben Simmons should be.
Could be.
Well, I wouldn't go
Yeah.
that far because he doesn't
Should
have
I
the
say
ball
that?
handles.
No,
But here-
I don't
but here's the
disagree with
thing.
what Jim said.
You know what's the best part about
I
this,
do.
Jim? Jim,
Come on,
No.
man.
Jim,
Come
we
on,
can
Nate.
sit-
No,
He doesn't have the pay-
Smitty's right.
He doesn't have the passing
He
game
doesn't have the handle.
Nah, man.
He
He
doesn't have the
doesn't. He doesn't
handles.
have the
But
handles
here's-
or moves
But
like
here's the
Simmons.
best part, if you're a Sixers fan, of why this is great. We can sit on Ben Simmons as long as we want because we're winning. Let another team
Yeah.
get desperate that needs somebody.
But the biggest problem is they're still paying him.
Yeah, but
A shit ton,
You-
too.
you
Yeah.
would be paying
So
him
so let me
shit.
ask you this. So what does this team need? So right now, the Sixers are probably going to make the playoffs, right? But what do they need to make them a bona fide contender
For a
to say
championship.
you go from
Sniper.
okay, we're gonna go making the playoffs to we have a legitimate shot to win a
sniper,
championship.
A sniper.
Another
But
another
who?
big
Yeah, but they
star.
got snipers.
Another
Yeah,
big
but I'm
star
talking
besides
about like
Embiid
a
and Curry.
Damian Lillard or Beal, which isn't going to happen
Yeah.
right now. So you have to be
No.
patient. So you have to be patient because eventually somebody's going to ask out. Portland just freaking lost to Cleveland last night. Damian Lillard just said in his article the other day, "I love Portland, but I want to win a ring." I know he said all the right stuff the other night.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to happen? Damian Lillard's not going to force himself out. Portland's going to realize, look, we're not going to win. I got to rebuild this team. You have to be patient. There's no reason for the Sixers to panic right now.
No, there's not.
They need a
There's
guy that
not.
could just
I-
score buckets at will.
Yeah.
I mean,
With
Buddy
no-
Hield would be great if I get something else from Sacramento.
Yeah, you don't need to worry
Or-
about defense. You just need a guy that's going to give you 35 points one night.
Which
And
that
not-
is
and-
the-
and
that
might
is their
be-
front court at
might
Portland.
be minus 10 in the stat
Which
sheet,
is-
but
And who's that player? And can
Bradley
you
Beal.
get him? Can you
Bradley
get?
Beal.
Bradley
CJ
Beal's not going
McCollum.
anywhere. The Washington Wizards are playing well, and they signed Dinwiddie. He's going to resign.
But what would it
there.
take to get him?
You're not getting Bradley Beal.
And that's what I want to ask. Being completely objective and realistic
What can we get?
about the situation, what could you possibly get for
Well,
Ben?
The problem is you could
Role
have got
player.
a lot more from Ben. Like I was watching a
Yes.
Bulls game
So
last night.
forget about what happened in the past. Right now,
You can get absolutely nothing.
I think you can get like a.
And contracts have to match. You
I
can't
think.
do-
I mean, if the Kings
Yes.
continue to play 500 ball, I think you can get
Who?
Buddy Hield and maybe Halliburton. I don't think you're getting.
I'd rather
DeAndre
DeAndre Fox.
You're not getting DeAndre Fox and Buddy Hield.
Being realistic.
I think you can get.
If we got DeAndre Fox, I think we're a championship team.
We're not getting DeAndre. I think you can get.
Got to be realistic, Angel.
I think Halliburton and Hield is realistic. I think. The guy from I wanted the guy from Cleveland, but he's the same
Paxton?
player as Maxey.
Paxton?
Same player as Maxey. I want somebody that can play with Maxey.
Yeah. I the way Thibault and Maxey have progressed this season
you don't
is
wanna
just
move
it's
them.
no hell
But
no,
are
man.
you moving them to get Dame? I don't know if I am, dude.
No, I think of the potential of these two. They're young, they're up and coming. They are
looking back on the Harden trade. I would have done that now.
Well, yeah, of course.
But Harden's
Yeah.
also hurt too, dude, and he's impacted by these.
And he's
fouls.
older. And he's older.
But
those
Simmons-
two.
There was Simmons. They wanted Simmons, Maxey, and
And
Thibault. I ain't giving him
Thibault.
that for Harden.
Yeah.
oh
Hell
no, yeah,
No.
Hell no.
But those two are so much fun to watch. And I'm a defense guy first, and watching Thibault do his thing on defense, but on the flip side, watching Maxey do his thing, going to the basket, fearless to the basket, shooting that jump shot once in a while. They are so much fun to watch. I really enjoy
I
watching
don't
those two
think they're
play.
moving him anytime soon. I think they could
Who,
make this.
Ben?
I think this.
I don't think they will
I don't
either.
think they're going to move him at the trade deadline.
And
Is
if
it
Morey doesn't-
possible? Is it possible they don't move him until he starts playing?
I don't think he's going to play.
I think there's two things.
Then they're not. Then
yeah, but here's
do
the
you
thing.
think they don't move him?
Jim, I agree with you. He's trying to force the Sixers' hand by with the whole I'm not disclosing the medal. I'm not ready to play.
Yeah, that's.
But I'm going to tell you right now, dude, Morey's not falling for his shit. That's
No.
what people need to realize. If we win tonight, we're 7-2. We're the second best team in the East. We're not giving you away,
and they
Ben.
should have one more win.
We're not giving you away.
That's
Right.
when I
And
say
we're right behind that.
when I say he's
Nets, right?
expendable, that's what I mean. Like you could sit on the bench.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
could sit.
Right.
You could
Right.
sit at
But
your
eventually-
game room
Yeah.
But
all
eventually-
season,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we don't
Some
give.
of
But I-
Savage, wherever the hell he
but
has
let's-
hanging in
some
there.
of those-
But let's also be realistic. If he says he wants to play, Sixers are going to insert
gonna-
him in the starting lineup.
They'll give him a chance.
100%.
And then you know what he's gonna get?
You're going to get better.
What?
A boo.
Well, yeah,
And a bunch of other things along with it.
Yeah.
That's not
of
Air
course.
But
appropriate.
I'm not just giving him away, is what I'm saying. You're going to have to give me something of value that makes my team into a championship contender, or I might as well sit on him.
It's been a long time since we've seen something like this too.
I mean, Nate, don't you agree? You're not just giving him away.
What do you mean?
I don't
This
think it's
situation?
happened in the NBA. Has
I
it
don't
Yeah,
think it's
what-
ever happened.
Who,
Yeah, where
Simmons?
they've held
You
like
talking about Simmons?
Yeah.
just like they just haven't traded.
What the other
Usually they force the trade by
They-
this time.
they said the other day last week, which was crazy to me, is and everybody knows that he wants to go to LA. Why don't the Sixers just trade him to the Lakers
Kings.
for Russell Westbrook? That doesn't make us any better.
I don't
I'm not helping somebody. You have to give me
Right.
something.
why
of
would
value,
you take
But that's what I'm saying. You have
he's
to
the
give,
biggest headache there is.
You have to give us something of value for us to get rid of him.
And what I
Because
find
right
funny-
now,
Yeah, you're
What I
just.
find funny-
Andrew's right. You're just trading headache
right,
for headache.
but you're the second best team in the East. So just why he
And
can
what I
sit.
find funny is how the Lakers they fight on the bench
Yeah, I
like
saw
a
that
bunch of
last week.
little ass boys and they're grown
You
men.
just gotta wait till a team that is contending is not as good and will get rid of one of their stars, and then that's when Morey can bounce. But I agree. I'm almost at the point where I don't want to include Maxey or Thibault in it.
I don't.
And that might be what it takes
Nope.
to get a star.
No,
So maybe
no.
then sit on Simmons.
Yes.
Sit on Simmons.
Yes.
You're most
I do
savage,
not
man.
get rid of
I
that.
agree. I
Sit
agree
on
with
Simmons.
that.
That sounds horrible.
And then today-
Hashtag that.
Well, wait. Why would you trade them now anyway and disrupt chemistry?
Right.
I mean, they're playing well right now. They have a lot of
Dude.
things going for them. Curry's shooting the ball well. They're without Embiid and they're still winning.
I think
So why
not
not play
Embiid,
with
not
what you got?
100%
But
either.
I think you can get.
Is he still injured from last year's injury and he's not getting the surgery? Is
Yes.
that what
Yeah, he's.
Yes.
Yeah.
is he refusing it or is it just not like
He refused. Well, I don't know if he refused it.
I
but
heard that he
didn't get
didn't.
it.
He didn't need it last year, but it
Well,
could have get
no,
worse.
You need it. He needs it.
I think Halliburton and Hield. I think we would all do that right
We
now.
I
got the-
would.
We had the Howie Must Go
And
chant going
and
to Patty
what's
Wax.
good
We're gonna
about him
start the
getting
sit on
traded
Simmons
to
chant.
the Kings?
Sit on
What's
Simmons.
good about Simmons getting traded to the Kings is there's no pressure there like there is here.
When is the
I
trade
don't
deadline?
give a shit. So let me
Like
stop.
they're not even
But
good
let
there.
me-
Like there's
but let
no
me stop
pressure.
you. I don't give a shit where we send Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I don't care about Simmons.
My
Yeah, I
thing
don't
is-
care
and
about
I'm-
That's what he
that.
wants.
Get something
No,
for
To
him.
help,
When
just to
is
help
the
him,
trade
like his
deadline?
mental health.
This is what
You gotta give him some.
I'm not even going to go to that. I don't even care about his mental health. I'm not going to that
That's
argument.
he's just using that as
I'm-
an excuse
I'm
to
not
keep
even-
getting paid.
I'm not even going to go there on that because I'm not necessarily believe that. But I don't care where he goes. My main objective now is that you
Make
have
this
a
team
piece in Simmons, make the Sixers better. If not, sit on Simmons.
Sit on Simmons. There it is.
And tell him to go.
The
Suck
the city edition
Not
jerseys
doing
are hot. We can all agree on that. That's
But I'm not telling you the release date because I'll be on there getting them right away.
Man, the trade deadline isn't until March 20. Wait, 20. All right, so I'm going to assume it's in March of 22.
No, I think
22.
it's January. This year it's December, isn't it, or January?
Really?
Oh no, that's when you can
7-0
trade,
Colts.
guys.
all right. And I think I want to close out with creep of the week. We had any final statements?
Wait, creep of the week.
7-0.
Do we
Colts.
have a say on creep of the week, or is it you?
I got my vote for creep of the week.
Do we get
What-
a
what-
vote?
what are the-
you
what
can
are
all
the-
argue it all you want, but
What are
Wait,
the what's
what
the
is
creep
it?
of the week here? What are we doing?
What do you?
I'm just-
I have no.
Oh,
Anyone?
we should
You
give out
lost,
Matt
man.
Maloney MVP for last week too, since they did win.
Oh well, then
we would've
it's got to
split
be.
it.
It's got to be my boy.
split it. Boston and Jordan.
No,
It's gotta be
hell
split,
no.
No.
Sure
What about
no.
Maddox forcing that turnover?
What about Darius Slay coming back and scored a touchdown? I'm good. Josh Sweat 2.5 sacks. But I'm going to go Jordan Howard.
What about Nick Sirianni actually know how to call in a
Bro.
freaking play?
From practice squad to the end zone, Jordan Howard.
February 10th is the trade deadline.
Damn.
All right, creep of the week. I've been telling you guys for years. Aaron Rodgers, complete creep.
I don't think that's not creep worthy.
Oof.
Oh, it's
Lying
definitely
about-
creep. Lying about it, going through the whole franchise and the organization and the press and all, not wearing your mask. He's a jerk off. He's a creep. He always will be. If he's our quarterback next year, I apologize, Aaron, but he's a creep. And that's all I got to say.
And if
about
he
it.
does come here, we get
He's
Devontae
killing my
Adams.
fantasy team.
Creep of the week, Aaron Rodgers.
You know what I'd be nice to see the Eagles trade for?
I do think
It's
he's
over.
Allen
overrated
Robinson.
The deadline's
Oh, I've
over.
said
100%.
You've heard me, Bob.
Oh, but I think we
Allen
agree.
Robinson on
Yes.
this team right now
Dude,
looks so
the
good.
deadline's over.
Just to add
Yeah,
some.
the deadline's
Deadline's
over.
over. We missed the
Ah,
deadline.
yeah,
You can
sure.
get him next year as a free agent with
We got a
Russell
quarterback.
Wilson.
That's dude. You're gonna be able to cap.
No, you're not. The Eagles have like $65 million next year under.
All
the cap.
right. We're coming up on time.
And they
Tone,
they had like
Thanks for hanging overtime on this, Tone. Did we get a pick from Tone for the week?
No, we need to get his
No.
take. He didn't even give us a Sixers take on how he feels.
Do you want to give us?
Yes, I want to hear Tone's.
Oh,
Tell me
man.
what
Sixers
Sixers
really
take.
What's
had
Tone's
attention.
take?
Creep
on
of the week,
Sixers.
Jim Marks.
Tone,
Sit
you-
on Simmons. I like that hashtag. We need to get that trending on Twitter. I'm 100% for what they're doing. Let him sit. Let him rot.
you make a
I don't
Sanders
give a
shirt
sh-
of
get-
him sitting on
don't-
Ben
don't give a
Simmons.
shit about him.
Tell him, sit on Simmons like Simmons' lap for.
and then have someone throw a snowball at him.
Throw a snowball at Simmons?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
DJ
did
can
see-
come here with his
Now
DJ.
we're after. Now we're getting close to 9.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I did see a T-shirt.
Are we reading the founding
I did
daddies?
see a T-shirt of
Founding
Simmons.
daddy.
Simmons' face with a pair of balls hanging down from his
Oh,
chin.
I saw that. Yes, I saw that. They were selling them last
Trying to
night.
move on that founding daddy shirt. That
I
would-
have founding
Sure.
daddy shirts, but that's
Yeah, that's-
Tone, what's your Eagles prediction?
It's a tough game, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They haven't won it. They haven't won at home yet, right? I mean,
no.
the Chargers. The first
Oh,
few weeks of the
great
season
point.
look like a playoff team. Now past couple weeks they've been struggling. So I don't know, man. If they run the ball, I think they're going to win the game. But who knows?
If they run like they did last week, I think we win this game
Sure.
You know?
by a touchdown.
See these gambling guys. This is where it is. They could shut it off, right? They can turn the fandom off. They can turn that switch off and look at it, and they're both like, well, maybe I'll bet the over, but they're not gonna. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
They're not gonna give me.
No,
I
but
get it,
it
I
just,
get it.
I mean, it does. You don't give a pick because you just, it could go either way.
Right. So
Well,
you
what
got
you're
the
saying,
over, is what
you-
you're saying.
You understand what the line is. The Chargers aren't a good rush defense, so we could run the ball. But my question is like, running with who? Like, are we really going to run the ball down their throats with Jordan Howard and Boston Scott?
Yeah,
last week.
yeah,
But really,
Especially
but
with
who,
Jordan
who are,
Howard.
They're
who
the
are these
worst
people?
run defense team in the
What do you
league,
mean,
dude.
Jordan Howard?
Jordan Howard was good like 7 years ago, bro.
He's still good.
He got
Apparently.
two
Why?
touchdowns
He's
on
still
Sunday.
good.
What are you
Pound
talking
the ball.
about?
He scored 2 touchdowns on what? In like 3 carries with 8 yards?
As long as they're running,
Wait,
I
hold
don't
on,
care.
Hold on.
He's not bad.
Like we act like their rushing attack is tough. Like what's their rushing attack? Like we're
Yeah,
talking
and
they don't have one because they're not using one.
And then
They don't ever run the ball. 31 pass plays in a row.
That's why you can't run the
31.
ball.
You play to win the game.
I disagree.
Playoffs?
But we're talking about Boston Scott, and I'm not trying to knock my guy Boston Scott, but we're talking like this is not Darren Sproles. Like, you know what I mean?
Now you're just taking shots.
You know what I mean? And then Howard? Well, yeah.
Didn't they run for like 250
I'm not
yards?
saying
They
they
did.
just got to run the ball,
They
man.
ran for
Run it.
250 yards. I don't care.
So
who
would you rather pass the ball for 31 plays in a row
I'm
again?
just no. When you look
Come
at
on.
it,
Would
Show
you
the
rather
run,
see us go
man.
down 10 or 14
let me give you
nothing or
boys a
17
gem.
nothing and
When-
throw the
And
ball
it-
the rest of the game?
and it doesn't matter.
Let me give you boys a gem when you talk about gambling. When you gamble, the one thing you have to look at is game flow, right? And you guys are talking about it. How is this game going to go? So the question is, you're betting that the Eagles, since they've been showing that they run the ball and they can get under center and they're running behind the tackles, they've had some success with that. My question in that debate, like, are we considering this a good rushing offense just because they've shown it? Like, they've changed the game flow, right? He's not passing all the time. It's not 3 and out all the time and looking at these erratic passes. So they're moving the ball, but it's just, can they do that consistently with Boston Scott and Jordan Howard?
Yes.
That's how you have to look at it.
They
No,
tried.
I think they
And,
can.
and you're saying
and
yes,
Gainwell.
but who did they beat? Detroit is 0-7.
Right.
So like,
Don't be
like,
hating on
what
Detroit.
are you
Why you hating on
talking
Detroit
about?
for?
They're 0-7.
But their line is their line's good.
But I'm just saying they're 0-7, bro. Like, they haven't won a game. I
Are they
understand.
0-7?
Yes.
So I
Or
think
0-8.
but I think also too they could have won the Kansas City game
But
if
they
they would have
didn't.
ran.
They
if they would've
lost.
ran. Exactly. They didn't.
Yeah,
they
because of
didn't
the
run.
game plan.
So
They
so
could've
it
beat
doesn't
Tampa
matter
Bay.
what they
Dude,
could have,
those
should have, would have.
RPOs coming helpful, man.
They
Let me
could've
tell
beat
you.
Tampa
I'm just
Bay.
I'm trying to school y'all. This doesn't matter what they should have, could have, would have. Like, it doesn't matter if they could have, but they didn't. They lost. So they haven't won a game. That's what the end result is. So that's what you have to look at. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people lost money because they thought Detroit was going to win the game.
But in Deke's defense, which I agree, and I know they could have won, but up to the Eagles game, dude, they played a lot of good teams very tight. The Eagles ran them out of the stadium, and it was
That's
running the ball.
genius.
It was running the ball.
I don't think it was really run the ball. I think it was really the defense.
How the hell
Well,
is
I
it?
mean,
What?
They ran the
look,
ball.
Dude, they ran the
Yo,
ball 40-something
offensively,
times.
yeah,
He
but
got
off,
240
How the
yards.
but
hell
offensively they
that's how
couldn't.
they won
Like,
the game.
Detroit
I
really
wasn't even
couldn't
paying
do
attention. I
anything.
just
No,
He
they
said
couldn't.
didn't win the game running the ball. It's not that.
Nah,
the
look,
Eagles ran it down the throat.
Goff only completed 25
wait,
passes.
wait. So
So
where
normally, Goff threw for like 40, only completed 25.
wait. If we didn't
DeAndre Swift only had
30 yards.
12 carries for 27 yards.
Yeah,
and TJ
listen to these
Hockenson.
numbers, bro.
So the defense definitely played a big part in it.
Yes.
But the run
So-
game showed up. We can't say that
Like,
the
I'm
run
not
game
saying
The
it
defense
didn't.
definitely did show up, but
I mean,
do
you got to
not
think
the
about
run
it.
game helped us win.
A lot of 3 and outs.
Yeah.
That game for Detroit.
Yeah, and they ran the ball to keep
Yeah,
scoring. Man.
right,
They ran
yeah.
the ball to mix it in. Yeah.
46 carries for 236 yards, 5.1 yards per touch, and 4 touchdowns. I'd say that's how they won the game.
That is exactly
How they
yeah.
won the game.
Now they're playing against a better team. Are they going to have that much success? You don't
Yes.
know, but you got to
Aren't
try.
the Chargers not good at?
and all you
Chargers
Minshew mania fans,
They
Gardner
gotta run
Minshew was the
defense.
perfect 2 for 2.
Chargers got Joey Bosa. Like,
I mean, they're not as
Chargers,
bad
he
as
doesn't
the-
want to play against the run. He wants to rush the passer.
I mean, they're not as good
Let
as.
me
I mean,
ask you
not
this.
as
Let me
bad
ask you
as
this.
the
You
they
think
line.
you
haven't
think
won at home yet.
you think they can win the game? Do you think they can win the game if Hurts throws for nine? He went 9 for 14 for 103 yards in that Detroit game.
If they run the ball for 250
Do you think that's really
yards,
sustainable
Yes.
against a good
if,
offense?
If they,
No.
The Eagles have
No,
one
but
or
if they're
two
keeping the
picks.
other offense off the field by running the ball, yes.
You guys got a lot of faith in Boston Scott. Are you guys? Are any of you guys starting these guys on your fantasy?
No.
No.
Would you start these guys on your fantasy?
No.
No.
Unless I had to.
I may have to start Jordan Howard because of other injuries on my fantasy team.
Jordan Howard had 12 carries for 57 yards.
Yeah, it was 12, 12, and 13.
I mean,
And
we're
Jalen
not
had
even
7.
talking about Jalen Hurts having 7 at
But
an
he-
average of 10, 70 yards.
Yeah,
If
because he had
you
a
run the
20-yard
ball
pass.
right. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want Jalen to be my running back. We've been
Of
dealing
course
with
not.
All right.
No, he
Alright.
should not be the leading rusher.
So the Eagles win on Sunday, Jim. You're changing your bet. Let's go now.
that. Changing my bet to what?
The
What
Eagles
was the
win.
bet?
You said the Eagles are going to lose.
I still think
Over
the Eagles
under.
are going to lose.
Over under.
I still think the Eagles are losing on Sunday, guys. I'm taking my heart out of this and look at what I see on the field. I love what they did against Detroit, but
They're due for a win at home. I think Tony.
they are. I want them to get a win at home. I'm
They
going
are.
to be there.
They will win on
It's gonna be-
Sunday.
No, it's going to be
They-
against New Orleans. It's gonna
They
be the first
have
win
to
at
keep
home.
the same game plan.
Right.
They have to.
And the Chargers secondary is not that good.
The Chargers coaches are smart. They're going to see what they did against Detroit, and it's over.
And Sirianni's going to run the Phillies special and win the game.
All right, I've had enough of you jokers. Tone, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Tone. I know we
No
kept
problem,
like
guys.
I said, we appreciate it. Good luck this
We got to get
weekend.
him in studio.
Yeah, we'll get Tone in studio. Once soccer ends, we'll get you in here, Tone. We know.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Like
But,
I said earlier, these kids are nothing but drains on our.
I know they don't.
our
They don't
fun,
understand.
our
They
money.
don't. They don't understand. I'm trying to build an empire here. They don't understand.
That one day they'll take over.
Dude, I got
Exactly.
to talk soccer. If Tone comes in, me and Tone can talk some soccer.
Oh boy.
Well, you guys can have your own soccer show. I'm not coming in for a soccer show.
I'm glad to hear that somebody else respects the game of soccer.
You and Tone can follow your follow my crew podcast.
I'll
with
talk-
your soccer
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
I'll talk Ted Lasso if you want to talk Ted Lasso. That's about as close to soccer as I'll get.
What's the name of your crew podcast?
Stroke.
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 Yo, Tone, that's a great name. Stroke. It's his podcast. Stroke the podcast.
Stroke. You're on Stroke It Radio. All right.
Thanks, Tone.
All right, guys.
Before
Take it easy.
have a good night. Before we get out of here, one more time, Bob. You know, it's a big week for the VFW and for our veterans. So, Bob, let's run through it again. What you got going on at the post there?
Yeah, so we have a if you weren't here in the beginning of the show, big week coming up. It's Veterans Day week. November 7th, we got the Eagles versus Chargers. Wear your military branch or Eagles green. Come in and show off either one. Wednesday, November 10th, 246th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. Join us on the pavilion as we celebrate. November 11th is Veterans Day. The ceremony will take place in our parking lot, weather permitting. If it rains, it'll be on our pavilion. So rain or shine, we're definitely having that. Friday, November 12th at 7 p.m., our auxiliary is holding a craft night. The proceeds benefit veteran hospitals and the VFW Auxiliary Post 9788. Registration is required for that, so I'll pass on the link to Jim and Deke, and they can put that on. I'll actually forward this flyer to you. November 13th at 7 p.m., Toys for Tots Comedy Night, indoor hall seating at 7 p.m. The show is at 7:30. You need to buy a ticket online. They're $12. You bring a toy to that event, and you get a free domestic draft, wine, or soda, complimentary if you bring a toy. That's the kickoff for our Toys and Tots Drive. That is at the Horsham VFW, 324 Sawmill Lane in Horsham, PA. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks again for letting me join you guys. It was great. I had a great time.
It's good having you in here.
Yeah,
I'm
love
gonna
having you,
add.
Bob.
Let me just add to the sales pitch here.
Mhm.
So, these posts, how much does a beer cost?
So at our post, the draft beer, Miller Lite, $2.50.
See that?
But
Right
but,
there,
but we
guys.
have
Right
we
there,
have
guys.
yeah we have Tregs, we have that stuff. Obviously, that's an upper.
But I'm saying, you go to
Yeah.
you go to the regular bar, it's costing you $4 a beer,
Yep.
Yeah, 250
right?
is a good
You,
deal.
you go there, you get good stories, good company, and you get cheap drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, why
and you
not?
get to hang out with Bob.
And Bob might be there.
I will be there if you guys tell me you're coming. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hell, I even hope to see Nate there.
Ah, there we go. There's the invite. Maybe we're gonna have to do it. We might have next remote, Nate.
Yeah, I'm not a hater, man.
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all, bro. Not a hater
We could do a
whatsoever.
remote from the VFW.
All right. Well, thanks again, Bob, for coming in. It was good seeing you.
Thank you
Thanks
again.
everybody listening in tonight. Yeah, and be excellent to each other. See you next week.
Take care.
Touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. E-A-T